Have you ever been obsessed with a girl who barely even noticed you? Have you ever sent that long paragraph only to get a dry one-word response? Or worse, nothing at all? Be honest. You stare at your phone, waiting for a reply that never comes. You double text, then triple text, thinking maybe she didn't see it. But deep down you know the truth, she just doesn't care. And that realization, it burns. Now what if I told you that the secret to making her desire you is to do the exact opposite? To ignore her? To walk away? To let her feel your absence? Most guys chase women, but the real power is in making her chase you. And in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly why ignoring a woman is the most powerful move you can make and how you can do it in a way that makes her obsessed with you. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Lifeline TM, hit the like button, and watch this video all the way through, because once you understand this, your love life will never be the same. Let's get started. 1. The power of absence, why ignoring women works. Remember the girl you had feelings for? Whoever it was that got your blood pumping. The one that occupied your thoughts each night as you drifted off to sleep. The one whose mere mention brought you immense joy when you checked your phone. However, a shift occurred afterwards. Whenever we needed to get a plan together, you were the first to text and you were always accessible. She seems intrigued initially. She was enthusiastic in striking up a conversation with you. She laughed at your jokes and she reacted. However, she began to gradually distance herself. Her response was delayed. The texts were condensed. Those feelings of vitality, gone. Then it hit you, no one else was even making an effort. The agony began at that point. That severe, smothering discomfort in the chest. The sensation of having one's needs disregarded or neglected. What most guys fail to realize is that women do not place a high value on things that are readily accessible to them. It has nothing to do with their cruelty. Reason being, we are psychologically hardwired to desire things that are out of our reach. Let that sink in. You would value something more if it required effort to obtain. However, you would be more likely to disregard it if it were presented to you in a flashy manner. Relationships work in a similar way. Some mental shift occurs in her the second you cease pursuing her, ceasing to give her your whole attention, and ceasing to make her your top priority. Her curiosity peaks. Why has he stopped texting me like he did before? Was his interest waning? Could he be chatting with someone else? She starts chasing after you out of nowhere. Men make the fatal error of believing that a woman would love them more the more they do for her. Attraction doesn't operate that way, though. Uncertainty, tension, and absence are the building blocks of attraction. There is no mystery if you are constantly there, accessible and prepared to attend to her needs. Very dull, she has no justification to pursue you. But when you take a step back, when you finally gave her a sense of your absence, she will understand your value at that point. Actually, there are instances when doing nothing is more powerful than everything you could accomplish. Have you ever pursued a lady to the point that she became uninterested? After giving your all, have you ever been told to read? Being overly available might be a hassle, but if that's the case, you already know. What if you pray you'll never have to endure that agony again? Put an end to chasing after her and start attracting her attention instead. 2. The biggest mistake men make with women. The number of times you texted a female first, regardless of her efforts, is staggering, isn't it? Do you know how many times you've double texted in the hopes that she'd pay attention? Maybe if I just show her how much I care, she'll like me back? Is something you've probably told yourself a lot. And what was the result each time? She became disinterested. This is where the majority of males make mistakes. You believe she will love you more if you show her how much you care by doing whatever she asks of you and never letting her wait. But you know what? Quite the contrary is true. Reason being, women aren't interested in men who treat them like statues. They find males attractive when they have to work for them. Unfortunately, the more you provide, the less she appreciates it. Consider your previous romantic partnerships. You were broken by that one. That one that made you ask, what went wrong? How generous were you? Too accessible? Overly eager to accommodate her every need? You erred if that was the case. The guy who texts his girlfriend nonstop will never win her heart. They find themselves captivated by the mysterious man. Those who evoke awe in others. That person whose existence extends beyond their body. And the second you quit putting her first, start putting yourself first, and stop running after her, she will notice. Your absence will be felt by her. What are you doing? She'll be confused. You may expect her thoughts to turn to you. Simply put, you're no longer a generic dude. I find you difficult. Plus, ladies just adore a good challenge. Have you ever experienced the heartbreak of a woman you cared about ignoring you? Is being too available ever something you felt? Then you need to quit making that error immediately. And what happens when you quit trying to get what you want? Plead for what you need and prove your value? At that point, she will begin to pursue you. What if she declines? So she was never destined to be with you. No worries about it. Because if you find the right woman, the one who is worth your time, she will see your worth and appreciate you regardless of how you present yourself. 3. The art of making her chase you. Let's rewind to the exact second when she began to act distant. Upon noticing that she would take hours, if not days, to respond, and would only provide one-word responses, I knew something was wrong. I thought you could feel it. Feeling like your heart is about to collapse. The exasperation of being in the dark. She was terrified that she was losing herself. And what did you do? You probably panicked. You texted her again, trying to restart the conversation. You wanted to make her laugh, so you sent her a meme. You might have even inquired, "Are you mad at me?" to make sure everything was all right. Just what was she up to? She retreated even further. Why? Because the more you chased her, the less she valued your attention. Women, you see, are hardwired to seek affirmation from men they hold in high esteem. The moment she senses that you're desperate for her approval, her attraction drops. But what happens when you ignore her? When you suddenly stop texting first? When you stop being available? When you start living your own life without waiting for her? That's when something shifts inside her. Her curiosity peaks. He should be messaging me, right? Was his interest waning? Could he have found another person? And suddenly she's the one thinking about you. Ignoring a woman activates her fear of loss. It makes her realize that she doesn't have you locked down, and that's when she starts chasing. Think about it. What happens when someone ignores you? You become obsessed with why. You check your phone more often. You wonder what they're doing. You replay conversations in your head, trying to figure out if you did something wrong. And that's exactly what happens when you pull away from a woman. She starts to feel your absence. And that absence? That's what creates attraction. So tell me, have you ever felt like you were too available for someone? Have you ever wished you had played it differently? If so, it's not too late. You don't need to be bitter. You don't need to hate women. You just need to understand how attraction works. And once you do, you'll never chase again. 4. The psychological reason. Ignoring women makes you more attractive. Let me ask you, have you ever had a woman show interest in you, only to suddenly pull away? One moment she's laughing at your jokes, touching your arm, making you feel like you're the only guy in the world, and then out of nowhere, she goes cold. It's confusing, right? One minute she's all over you, the next she's distant, and that's when you start chasing. You try harder. You send more messages. You ask if something's wrong. You start overthinking every little thing, and just like that you lose all your power, because what she was doing was testing you. This is called the push-pull effect. It's a psychological trick that triggers deep attraction by creating emotional highs and lows. Women are naturally drawn to men who make them feel a range of emotions. If everything is always predictable, always the same, she gets bored. That's why some women flirt with you one day and ignore you the next. They're subconsciously testing your strength. If you react emotionally, if you panic, if you chase, if you start over-investing, you fail the test. But if you remain calm, if you pull back instead of chasing, she feels a rush of uncertainty. And uncertainty creates obsession. This is why ignoring her at the right time makes her chase you. Not out of games, not out of manipulation, but because attraction is built through tension. Think about it, what's more exciting? A woman who is always predictable? Or a woman who makes you work for her attention? It's the same for women. She doesn't want a guy who's just there. She wants a guy who makes her feel something. So the next time a woman pulls away, instead of chasing, pull away too. Let her wonder. Let her feel your absence. And if she truly values you, she will come back. But if she doesn't, then she was never worth your time in the first place. So tell me, have you ever chased someone who played hot and cold with you? Have you ever felt like you were trapped in a game you didn't understand? If so, this is your wake-up call. It's time to stop playing by her rules and start making her play by yours. 5. The alpha male mindset. How to keep her hooked. Let's go back to a moment in your life, the moment you lost her. Maybe she was your first love. Maybe she was the one you thought you'd end up with. Maybe she was the woman who made you feel like you finally had something real. And then, she changed. She stopped replying as fast. She stopped initiating conversations. She started making excuses. And the more distant she became, the more desperate you felt. You told yourself, if I just try harder, she'll come back. So you did everything. You texted her good morning. You liked all her posts. You tried to remind her of the good times. And what happened? She retreated even further. Because here's the truth. Women don't value what's always available. This is called the scarcity principle. The less something is available, the more valuable it becomes. And it applies to everything. Money, luxury brands, even relationships. Think about it. Why do people pay more for exclusive things? Why do limited edition sneakers sell out in minutes? Why do VIP experiences feel more special? Because not everyone can have them. And women? They think the same way about men. If she knows you'll always be there, she takes you for granted. But if you become scarce, if you show her that your attention is a privilege, not a guarantee, suddenly, you become valuable. The moment you stop texting first, the moment you stop checking in, the moment you start living your life without her, she starts feeling something she never expected. She starts missing you. Because now you're no longer just another guy in her inbox. You're the man she might lose. And that fear, that uncertainty, that's what makes her chase. So let me ask you, have you ever been too available for someone? Have you ever given your heart to a woman who never truly valued it? If so, then you already know what happens when a man makes himself too easy to get. However, at this moment, now it's time to flip the script. Now it's time to make her work for you. 6. The power of moving on. Why ignoring your ex is the best revenge. Now let's talk about the most important thing. The one thing that separates men who make women chase from men who get ignored. Emotional control. Think about the last time a woman hurt you. Maybe she ghosted you. Maybe she led you on. Maybe she broke your heart into a million pieces. And you still don't know how to move on. And let's be honest, it hurt. You wanted to know why. You wanted closure. You wanted to understand what went wrong. And in that moment, you gave her power over you. Because here's the truth. The moment a woman knows she can control your emotions, she loses respect for you. She might not even do it on purpose. But the second she realizes, I can ignore him and he'll still be there, she stops valuing you. Now let's flip the situation. What happens when you don't react? When you don't chase? When you remain calm, unbothered, focused on yourself? Her curiosity peaks. Why isn't he affected? Did he stop caring? Wait, is he talking to someone else? And just like that, you become the one in control. Because the truth is, women don't obsess over men who beg for them. They obsess over men they can't control. The man who can walk away. The man who has options. The man who doesn't let a woman's attention or lack of it define his worth. That's why ignoring her works. Not because it's a trick. Not because it's a game. But because it shows emotional strength. And nothing is more attractive than a man who can't be broken. So ask yourself, have you ever let a woman control your emotions? Have you ever let her silence make you feel worthless? If so, then it's time to change. It's time to stop reacting. Stop chasing. Stop proving yourself. I mean, what happens when you do? She will be the one chasing you. What if she declines? Then she was never worth it in the first place. Conclusion. Ignoring women isn't about being cold or manipulative. It's about understanding your worth. When you pull back, when you stop chasing, when you start focusing on yourself, women will chase you. Because at the end of the day, attraction isn't about words. It's about how you make her feel. And when a woman feels like she might lose you, that's when she wants you the most. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.